It is very exciting to be here. Not all shows, though, are like this. I did a show in a prison once. All the way in it. We went in it. There's few more people than this. We go in, let's say, like, you guys are like the inmates. So I'm like sitting here, I'm doing my dumb jokes. None of them work. Every joke I have involves being outside in the past 30 years. Like, nothing's relatable. I'm like, traffic's crazy. Do you guys remember? Who remembers traffic? An inmate gets up and starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. You know, like, I've seen movies, like he's gonna use me to break out. So I don't want to point at him, you know, but I am trying to draw. I'm like, the weather's been like pretty crazy. Should he be walking up like that? Turns out he's just going to the bathrooms. They're right behind me. He's a good guy. I judged him on what he was wearing and where we were at. It was my fault. He goes in, the bathrooms they're like open. So I'm against this like brick wall, and I'm like standing, it goes like halfway up. So it's me, a brick wall, and then the urinals. And he just comes out and then comes and pees picks the one right behind me. And so it's just me and him just standing there. He's peeing, I'm like trying to talk. And he just pees without even kind of a problem. It was the most confidence I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I thought, whatever you think this guy did it, all right? That's not, an innocent man doesn't pee like that. That's a guy, he's not getting out. I took social media off my phone. I have Instagram still on there. I feel like it's still okay. It's like, it's safe. Twitter's like, I feel like it's just like celebrities telling you you're the worst. That's all it is, all day. Whether it's like the presidential election, everybody's furious. And then there's a big pipeline thing. You remember that? They're like, we got to stop this pipeline. We're like, yeah, we do. I don't even know where this is at. I couldn't find it. Right now, I don't know what was in the pipe. I don't know if the pipe was above ground, but it was like, we got to stop. People have stuff there, and you can't be throwing pipes. You can't just throw pipes everywhere you want to throw pipes, you know? And it just... I follow Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? I'm a big fan. Just want to see what that guy's life is like. He tweets nothing fun out. I've learned that. He tweeted out 100 million sharks get killed a year by people. Just threw that up. No solution. I'm just at home in Tennessee, nowhere near an ocean. So many sharks. If you told me to guess how many sharks were alive, I would never have guessed 100 million. I don't know, a million? I don't know. Like, who knows how many sharks there are? I tweeted back, I was like, all right, dude, I won't kill any sharks. I don't know. Is that what you wanted out of this? I won't do it. I've never even been near a situation where I thought I might have to kill this shark. Never even met a guy that's pet a shark, but I'm not getting involved now. Facebook is more, that's your like friends telling you you're the worst. It's more local. No one has a good day on Facebook. It's everybody's worst days of their lives. And you'll be like the first thing you look at. You like wake up and you like cut it on and then just be like, do you want to see a murder video? You're like, I don't at all. I just woke up. I'm just trying to see whose birthday it is, you know? And they're just like, well, we already started playing it. So, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll watch that. My wife gets mad because I don't like any of her photos. She's like, why don't you like any of my photos, you know? And it's like, is this not enough, us living together and stuff? And I did like it. When we took it, I said I like it. I told you I like it. I looked at it. I'm in it. I'm in the photo. There's not much more I can do with this photo. We've been together my entire life. Since we started dating when I was like 21. I'm 37 now. And like I went from like my mom to her. So I don't even know what it feels like to not have some lady be like, I don't know if I would do that, you know. And now we have a daughter, so I'll never know. I'll never know. We get in fights, you know, still. And when you're married for a long time, fighting is just, it can happen, it's open 24 hours, basically, at any time. We got in a fight recently at 3 a.m. We woke up to get in this fight. We have a dog, and our dog, freaks out when it thunders. And so we have sedatives to give her because there's only so many times you can tell a dog it's just thunder before you're like, she's not getting it, you know. And you're like, just take this, all right? So I woke up, I had to wake my wife up, and I was like, hey, where are the sedatives at? And she was like, they're at the top of the cabinet. So I go get them. I looked at the bottle, and the bottle said they were expired. So I had to wake my wife back up, and I was like, hey, these say they're expired. And she was like annoyed. She was like, they're not expired, all right? They're new pills in an old pill bottle. And I was like, all right, I should have thought of that. You know, that's my fault. I mean, we have people come to our house all the time and they get milk and they're like, is this milk expired? And I have to go, that's new milk in an old milk jug. Are you the stupidest person I've ever met? Why would you not assume that's what it is? That's roughly what I told her. It wasn't as fun as that, but... And then she goes all in and tells me it doesn't matter because dog medicine can't even expire, which I was like, you've never even heard a rumor about that. You don't know that. We don't know any dog medicine people. I know who she knows. We don't know one dog medicine maker that's texting her like, hey, we're doing some pretty big things at the dog medicine factory. I wanted to let you know first, but we've invented medicine that can't expire. So feel free to tell your husband at 3 a.m. We do have a daughter as well. We took her to Disneyland when she was 2, and people told us that was a mistake. We didn't ask anybody, but they were happy to tell us. And they were like, you're just wasting money, you know, she's not going to remember it. And I was like, I don't know. She believes in Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse is like real to her. It's like fun to see her get excited, you know. Should I just lock her in a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No? Well, until you start remembering things, I'm not going to waste any of my money on you, all right? We're trying to discipline her, too, and it's hard to discipline kids nowadays. You know, you can't spank them. You can't talk about it in a microphone for sure. So it's like, what do? You got to hope it works out. Spanking got, like, blown out of proportion because, like, you would see, like, a video of a lady, like, fighting her kid in a Walmart parking lot, and they were like, no, you're not supposed to spank. You're like, that was a regular fight. That's not, like, what we're talking about. I was spanked. My generation was. It was fine, you know. You ever talk to really old generations? They just act like they were beat with bats. They say stuff to you like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like that should have been happening. You should have called the police or something. Like, the police would hit us as well. Everybody was hitting us. It's fun to be back home, though. I got my 20-year high school reunion is this year, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty invested. I didn't go to college, so this is like the last group of people I met. So I mean, I cannot wait. I love it. I went to the 10-year, loved it. Suggested a 15, no one wanted it. Finally, the 20 is here. My buddy told me, he's like, I'm gonna lose weight for our 20-year reunion. And that always like feels, you know, you're like, why don't you lose it for the people that were in your life every day for the past 20 years? You've made your wife stare at your moose body for 15 years. Why don't you tone it up for her a little bit? He's like, no, I'll just save it for the people I hate. I'm going as is. Just, you know, this is what happened. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I didn't work out then. I didn't start when I left. So I'm just seeing how it's going to go. I do zero working out. Not even, I mean, it's not like you're like, whoa, wow. Like, it's like, yeah, we figured that. Every hotel I go to, I ask if they have a gym. I don't even have clothes that I could work out in. There's no way. I'm like, is it 24 hours? I was going to start tonight at midnight. So I was wondering if that's... What I've learned, what's easier than working out is just tell people that you used to weigh 300 pounds. That's a lot. They don't know, you know? So I've never weighed 300 pounds, but I look pretty amazing for a guy that used to weigh 300 pounds. You're like, yeah, I got tired of being tired, all right, you know? Today's my cheat day, obviously, but normally I'm pretty strict. I just don't eat anything healthy. I like apples, but I only like pre-cut apples. I won't eat a whole one, you know? I'm not a horse, all right? So could you guys do some work over there at the apple factory, you know, however apples get here? I've watched a lot of the documentaries that try to make you eat better. Like I watched Fed Up, and it's about all the food that I eat every day. There was nothing in it that I haven't had recently. You know that saying, like, I haven't had that in forever? I haven't said that in forever. There's nothing I haven't had. Airheads, that's usually something like, oh, are they still doing good? Yeah, they're doing great. They got more colors now. It's pretty fun, you know? I go to too much, like, chain stuff. Like, that's, I can't think outside of, like, going to, like, a chain place. And they mess up all the time, but I still just go back. I go to McDonald's, and I'll have, like, the nerve to be, like, in the drive-thru, like, and be like, hey, guys, I said no onions, and this has onions. And they just look at me like, you're too old to be here, man. Don't come here. This is not a real restaurant, all right? I'm 11 years old. That guy's 90. Go to, like, you live near here. Go to a regular place. I had a whole issue at a Starbucks. I went into Starbucks, ordered iced coffee with milk. Nothing crazy, you know? And the guy, like, looked at me weird. You know, like, when you're, like, get something in your head, you're like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what I said. But you're, like, too far in. You're both touching the credit card. So you just got to go, all right, let's see what he thinks he heard. And I go to the end of the counter, and he gives me milk with ice in it. I had to ask him. I go, what is that? He goes, milk with ice in it. I was like, what do you think? Do I look like a psycho to you, dude? I've never ordered milk publicly in the history of my life. I've never once in my life been out and thought, you know what I could go for right now? A cup of milk. I'd love to do that. I'd love a cup of milk. I'd like to drink it out of a straw, something else I've never done. Let's do that, and then let's put ice in it. Let's do something I didn't even know you could do. Let's do all that in front of all these people I don't know. And it was a Starbucks that was like in a Target. It wasn't even its own Starbucks. It was a Starbucks that's like, we don't really do everything. And I was like, do you do milk with ice in it by any chance? Is that something? I just go to all of them. And I still go. I go to everybody messes up. I want them to do so much better. I went to Walmart. I go there. I'm fine with them, you know. I'm a Walmart guy. Like, that's where I'm at. I went into one. I was trying to, and Walmart's getting a little, like, sometimes when you go in there, some of the people that work there are like, some of them I don't even know. You'll be talking to them. I'm like, I don't even know if you work here, if you're a customer. Like, it's 50-50. But they're willing to help, which is nice. I went into one. I was trying to buy a hammock. So I go in, I go back to where I imagine the hammocks live. And I went up to this guy and I was like, hey man, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, what's a hammock? And it threw me off enough that I was like, am I saying it wrong? I was like, I think I'm saying it wrong, because you know what it is. And I was like, is it hammock with a T? Does that sound right? Like, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, we're out of hammocks. We're out of them. It's hammock season. And I left, went to my car, Googled where to buy a hammock. And Google was like, do you mean hammock? I was like, I sure do, Google. Where were you at during all of this? The other embarrassing part of that is, so it happened, and then I called like a comic buddy of mine to tell him the story. And I was like, this is funny, right? But then I asked him, I was like, hey, do you think if I tell people I was buying a hammock, is that going to come off like I'm bragging? Like, for some reason, in my head, that's just like a wealthy purchase. Like, that's a hammock at Walmart. Like, an audience would be like, whoa, all right. I didn't know we were just hearing about how good you're doing. Man, what's it like to have two trees that close together? Is it nice? I heard it looks nice. I've seen pictures. I've had my one like fancy purchase. I had Lasik surgery, and we were living in New York, so I had it. It was in Manhattan. Got a deal on it, so that helps knock it down. It worked. You know, I can't see this side of the room, but besides that, this side I see almost too good, and. No, it was fine. And they did a couple things that were weird. Besides the deal I got, they want to show you the video, like before you have it. They're like, here, watch eye surgery, and you're like, just do it. I don't want to watch. Like I trust. We're in a building. This seems like a real thing. So just go. If I was doing that out of some guy's van, I might ask that guy for a video. But you know, be normal. And the other thing, they didn't make me bring anybody. And I was like, should I bring someone to take me home? And they're like, no, most people can see. I was like, you said most. You sure? It's not a big deal. I'll tell someone where I'm at. They're like, no, don't. Did you tell anybody where you're at? Don't tell anybody. So I go in. They give you a Valium. You go back and you do it. Then you get done. They give you those big sunglasses. And then I'm on a Valium. They're like, you good? You're like, yeah. This is the funnest. This is like the funnest surgery I've ever. This has been a fun day, to be honest. And they're like, can you see? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, so I go down. I'm in Manhattan, so we get out, and I start walking to go to the subway, get a few blocks away, and then my eyes start hurting so bad, and I just want to keep them shut. You don't want to open them, and so I'm like, I can't get home. So I get my phone, I'm like blinking, and I get to my wife, and I call her, and I was like, you got to come get me. I can't see. You know, and I was like, and you should have come too, by the way, all right? Like, why are you not here? So I was like, you got to come find me. I don't know where I'm at. I've made turns. So I was like, just go back to that place and then just expand your search around buildings until you find me. And I just stood I put my hand on a building, and I just stood like, because I was afraid I would like drift out in the street and just be like just shuffling. The next thing I know, I'm in the middle of the road, just big sunglasses, which wouldn't be that different for New York, and so I'm just standing, I stood with my hand like this for like 30 minutes. I mean, we were to the point if anybody confidently just walked up, they could have taken me home. Next person that goes, let's go, I was living with them for the rest of my life. It's fun doing comedy with, like, 'cause you get to travel so much. I fly a bunch, and it never gets easy when you fly. Like, you just think, like, every plane you're on is going to go down. It's not in a dark, you know, it's never relaxing. I had, I've gone on a plane once, and, you ever get on and just look at everybody on it, and it just looks like a group that would go down in a plane crash. Like, for some reason, you're like, I feel like I've seen all of us before. I had a pilot tell us right before we took off that he was retiring, and this was his last flight. You're like, all right, why don't you just say that when we land, dude? Like, it's not like we're gonna be different people. We're the same people. He's basically just like, either way, this is my last flight. So, all I can tell you is I'm not flying again after that. I'm trying to get better. Like, when you travel now, you go to like different cities. It's like to actually go explore the town and like see stuff. I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and yeah, a couple of us. All right, and they have a big battleship there, and it's in it looks like it's a river because you can see across. It doesn't look big, but it's probably part of the ocean. It's like one of those where you're like, could I drink that water? Could I not? You know. I don't know, but you can't ask that. You can't ask someone how water works. So I didn't even go on it, but it's there. I just wanted you to not think I didn't see it if you go. But I looked up some other stuff to do. They have a thing there called Cape Fear Serpentarium, and it's just a guy's house, and he has a bunch of snakes, lizards, and a crocodile just in his house. He has the world record for being bitten by a viper snake. It's 7 times. Which is it's a record no one is trying to get. It's so many times. He was bitten 3 times, and then 4 more times after that. That's how many times he was bitten. 3's a ton, and then 4 more after is just too many. But I was like, I got to go see this. This is going to be amazing. So I go, I walk over, I walk in. Right when you walk in, he's got a lobby set up. And in the lobby, he has 2 parrots and then a bunch of anti-government posters. That's like a real, he just has those things. It's like 2 parrots and like a lot of stuff on chemtrails. You know, he's basically just like, this is what I would love to talk to you about. And you're like, I just want to see some snakes, man. He's like, all right, but maybe later could I corner you and talk to you about it? And you're like, I don't know, let's see how the snakes go. So I went and I paid. It was $9. Obviously cash only in a place like that. And so I give him my $9. I go up. First snake I see is a gaboon viper. It's a crazy venomous snake. And there's a story written out about how venomous it is. And the story was that these 2 kids broke into the Washington National Zoo in the early 1980s to steal a gaboon viper for whatever reason. So they get it, they put it in a trash bag. When they're walking out, they have the trash bag over their shoulder as if they forgot what they just did. The snake bites through the trash bag because it's a 1980s trash. It's not like a Glad one now, you know. This was like when trash bags were not doing good. So it bit the kid. The kid went into a coma for 4 days, and then it was like, that's all we know. We don't know what happened. And you're like, that's the whole reason I'm even reading this, to see what... Did he die? Is he stronger? Are you him? Like, what's the rest of the story? So if you ever go, and you should go, if you ever go, 3 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, he feeds these things. So I looked at my watch. It was like 3 p.m. I was like, all right, we'll go watch these things eat. So the first snake they go to feed is a black mamba. It's another crazy venomous snake that should not be in America outside of a zoo. Especially not at a guy's house that hates America. So we're like, all right, we got to go see this. So we get down there. He puts a chicken wired fence around him. So if a snake gets out, he'll just get out of that fence pretty quick. The fence has holes in it that I would describe as a little bit bigger than a black mamba. And I mean, we're leaning on it. We're getting kids up against it. We're like, no, you get up here. Push, their kids' faces are against it. So we all stand around. He's a bucket of like dead mice. He grabs a mouse. He throws it in there. He eats it. We all cheer, and then we move on. Next one we go to is 12-foot anaconda. This snake is huge. He props open the glass cage with a 2x4. That's how big it is. Props it up. No chicken wire fence. It's non-venomous. Worst case scenario, we're all going to wrestle this snake. So we're all standing there around. He gets his bucket back out, but this time it's got dead rabbits in it. And they're the biggest rabbits I've ever seen in my... I would have paid $9 to see what that rabbit's life was like. You know, just to see that rabbit drive up that day. He gets these giant, 2-handed tongs that they look like they're for this. So he grabs a rabbit. He kind of steps back. He's going to make the snake come out and get it like he's hunting. So it's the rabbit, it's him, children, and then us. I mean, no, he's the only employee there. So we stand there. Luckily, the snake comes out. He gets the rabbit. He's constricts it. It falls to the ground. He lifts it. He puts it back in. He goes, well, Easter Bunny's dead. Makes that joke for the kids. Yeah. And we waited for him to say he was joking. He did not. Yeah, he stared at the kids harder, almost to assure it. That's what it is. Then he goes, all right, you have permission to touch the snake. No one's asking. We're walking away. No one was like, I bet this is when we can pet him. They're leaving, and he makes the kids pet him. And they most don't want to touch the snake. Most are petting the rabbit he was eating. It was like the 30s. There's no rules in this place. It's like riding a ski lift. You ever been on a ski lift, and halfway up, you're like, hey, my bar didn't lock. Should it have locked? I don't do this ever. So the last one is the crocodile. We go to the crocodile. It's a 10-foot crocodile. This crocodile has been staring out at his cage at everybody. He's trying to remember you for supporting this guy. He's like, I'll find you one day. I mean, if he was in here right now with a hat on, I wouldn't be surprised. That's how nervous I am when I go out. So we all stand around. The crocodile's there. He unlocks the door. Door's unlocked. He gets his rabbit bucket. And he grabs a rabbit, and he's going to just open the door and throw it in there and eat it and watch it. He grabs the rabbit, he gets it right here. The crocodile sees the rabbit and comes forward, hitting the door, which is unlocked and we learn also broken. Hits the door. If the crocodile's momentum like just takes him out into the carpet, like they were staying with us. The kid, there's a 10-foot crocodile just on the floor. So everybody just starts losing it. It's like a Godzilla movie. People are just running, everybody's crying. People are crying real hard, like just bawling. Everybody's dead behind you. You just assume it. You don't even look. Some lady was like, my husband. I was like, your husband's gone, lady, he's gone. We shouldn't be here. There's so many signs that say we shouldn't be here. And we just leave, because the cobra was next. She's like, I don't know if the cobra's in a cage. Who knows where this cobra's at? He might have been watching this with us. This is a real story. And here's my proof. I have proof to this story. Is there's a TripAdvisor review from that day. It's not my review. I'm not a review guy. But someone reviewed it. And you can look at it. Go to TripAdvisor. Type in Wilmington, North Carolina, Cape Fear Serpentarium. When you get there, go to the reviews. They have 4 stars to 1 stars. If you want to see what I'm talking about, I would start at the 1 stars. They're all pretty fun to read, though. You know, 4 stars love it. They think the place is great. 3 and 2 stars, they're usually pretty hung up on the propaganda in the lobby. They can't get past that. And then just go to the 1 star that says, crocodile got out of the cage. It's the best 1-star review I've ever heard in my life. Like, just the most, oh, did that poster hurt your feelings? Did a crocodile get out when you were there? Because he got out with us, and we didn't think he should have been out with us. So 1 star. All right, thank you guys so much.